Hey guys, my name is Gray Ryan. I'm a new faculty member at Bellarmine this school year, and this video is meant to help introduce some ideas and concepts that you can apply to the drum set in a big band setting. I have been playing percussion for 11 or so years now, probably since I was 10 or 11 years old. Though my background isn't primarily in jazz playing, I have a good amount of experience with jazz music. I've received instruction in the genre since I started playing the drum set, which was when I started playing percussion in general. So as a general rule, when approaching playing, whether it be jazz music or any genre for that matter, I strongly recommend stretching your hands and wrists before you begin playing your set, because this will allow you to have greater mobility along your drum set, and we're always looking for flexibility and tone when we're playing a percussion instrument. Because it's very important you avoid playing your instrument in a stiff or aggressive manner. Your sound will just be harsh and unpleasant if you don't approach the kit with the proper facility. Again, demonstrate the stretching technique, something along these lines. On this stretch, put both sticks in my hand, rotate my wrist like so. This allows me to increase flexibility and makes my wrist feel looser when I play. With your wrists, don't pull on them too hard. Don't want to strain them. Just enough to have that loose feeling. And lastly, both sticks. Just feel that stretch in the inner lining of your arm and your hand. It is fitting when playing jazz music. I meant to say music. It's fitting when playing jazz music to focus on the swing pattern first. We play this groove almost exclusively either on the ride cymbal or the hi-hat. And in many respects, it's the primary means of keeping time in big band music. The only other instrument I could think of would be the bass that holds that importance of timekeeping. Well, the swing groove is characterized by a skip pattern on the end of beats 2 and 4 and is played like so. Remember to also click your hi-hat cymbal with your foot on beats 2 and 4 while playing that swing pattern on the ride cymbal. Though it is less common, you can also utilize this pattern on the hi-hat. When you do so, it is essential that you do not completely choke your hi-hat, but rather give it some air while it's closed to achieve a more resonant and open sound with the cymbal. Now, as concerns using your bass drum and snare in the swing pattern, it's quite common to use a technique called feathering. And feathering is basically to softly and almost inaudibly keep the pulse of each beat with your bass drum. You can occasionally fill in ghost notes with feathering, or what I personally like to call punches while you're using the technique. Or you could even use these ghost notes when you're not using the feathering technique. Really a matter of choice, depending also on the resonance of your bass drum. Now with your left hand, it is important to practice syncopation while maintaining the swing rhythm on your riding cymbal. There are certain techniques I use to practice this. For example, a common exercise is to use singles and doubles on each alternating beat, like so. And now you'll see my alternating doubles. Once you've mastered these general syncopation exercises, feel free to try and incorporate these syncopation exercises at your own discretion in a few bars of playing. Here's an example of my syncopation in a few bars. It is worth remembering at this point that you are always looking for tone and musicality in your playing over accuracy. The accuracy of your playing is very important, but you should not sacrifice your musical expression for the sake of hitting notes right. You are always trying to play with the band, barring a potential and perhaps unusual drum solo. In this vein, you should make it your priority to play with the expression of the music as a whole, and also to guide the band's sense of time. Remember, as the primary timekeeper, your playing is meant to help other players nail their figures precisely and on time. To do this, big band drummers often incorporate hits in the piece to sign a musical figure. One of the common hits in big band music, a hit on the and of beat 1, follows like so. This is more often than not anticipated by a fill rather than played independently like I just played it. Jazz fills should generally be simple and tasteful, as this helps accentuate the groove in your playing and also helps to facilitate the consistency of the entire band's playing at large. It's important to note that I begin with time to introduce my groove, and I begin my fill on beat 2 to accentuate the hit on the and of 1. It is important to note when playing your hit whether you should accentuate the note by, say, incorporating a snare hit coupled with a crash hit that resonates, or, on the other hand, shorten your hit by abruptly hitting the snare to close your fill figure. Versus the abrupt. Your choice largely depends on what the rest of the band is playing, meaning that when the band is playing a long note, you should probably accentuate your hit. When the band is playing a short note, you should probably shorten your hit. I like to practice most of my fills in a simple exercise where I play a bar of time followed by a bar of filling. And this repeats until you feel satisfied with both your fills and your sense of musical time. And this, in my opinion, is a great way of improving your fills and also your ideas for your fills. It's a great exercise. For general playing or music you can play along to, I recommend playing along to Hey Burner from Count Basie's Straight Ahead album. The album that Mr. Whitson actually recommended to you guys. You can also watch the excellent Pete Cater's Guide to Big Band Drumming on YouTube for further more instruction on the topic of big band music. Thank you very much, guys. I hope to hear you guys play soon, and have fun playing.